Greetings, demons, and welcome to Warhammer Weekly, episode 36. So, we are back to having a pretty quiet week this time around, and I don't have any pickups, so this is going to be a very short episode indeed, but there's still some cool stuff to talk about, so let's just roll the intro and get into it.
Not the leader of a cult, RabbitWithAxe.
And starting off with a very quick topic, Stormbringer, the magazine that you've seen in a lot of my episodes, just talking about, the new releases and stuff like that, is the essentially Age of Sigmar collectible magazine. It includes a lot of units from Order and Destruction, mainly focusing on the Stormcast Eternals and the Oryx. And it's a very good little subscription. I'm a fan of it personally, as you know I have it. And it's about a third of the way, or maybe towards half of the way in the UK, and it's now coming to the US. So this is pretty cool, in my opinion. It has a lot of very cool miniatures that, if you're trying to get into AoS, are good to have, especially if you're interested in playing either Orcs or Stormcast. And honestly, the exclusive models as well. The first issue comes with an exclusive model. The third issue, I believe, comes with an exclusive Auric model as well, which is just really cool. But in general, just a really nice selection of models on hand, and it's pretty regular. You get 4 issues every month as one installment. You don't get them weekly, even though they do technically release weekly. And generally, it's a pretty good price for all the stuff you get. You end up saving quite a lot of money by getting this compared to buying every single unit individually, especially if you get the premium subscription, which I'm not going to get into too much here. I've spoken about it before, but you do get a lot of bigger models that are worth over $150. So it is definitely worth it. Paying that extra $1 or whatever it is a month does really help you in the long run. But that's all I really want to say about it. It's coming to the US, so that's going to be very, very good for US collectors. And if you're someone who is in the US or in fact in the UK as well, that is a 40k player or a 30k player and wants to get into Age of Sigmar, Stormbringer is a very good choice. I believe you can still get the subscription from the start in the UK, and obviously you're soon going to be able to do that for the US, but very cool. Stormbringer coming to places outside the UK, which is always nice to hear. And moving on. And it is that time of the year. We have the Battle Force boxes for both 40k and Age of Sigmar, and honestly, compared to last year's, which I thought were pretty much all excellent, this time around it's kind of disappointing. So, just going through the 40k ones first, we have Defenders of the Ancestors, which is, of course, Leagues of Votann, the Beast Snagger Stampede, which is Orcs, the Cadian Defense Force, which is Astra Militarum, or whatever the other name for them is, Imperial Guard, I guess. We also have the Space Marines Spearhead Force, which is Space Marines, just generics. We have the Onslaught Swarm, which is the Tyranids, and the Exalted of the Red Angel, which is World Eaters, which is a nice little different one to get. All the others I believe we saw last time around, but World Eaters this time instead of, I guess, Thousand Suns, which was last time. Though actually, I think we had both Thousand Suns and Death Guard. I could be wrong there, but as I kind of said at the start, I'm not a huge fan of any of these. They're all okay. Just going through them real quick. The Votann box is very nice because it basically gets you all of the expensive units. All of the Votann units are expensive, and I mean monetary value, not point worth. But you get both the vehicles, which is kind of cool, I guess. You get a lot of Ironheart Warriors, their leader character, and the Ancestor wizard guy. It's not the Ein here. That's the big guys. The Grimnir. And his little drone boys as well. So I personally think it's pretty good. I'm sure the discounts will be pretty strong on this, especially because those vehicles are very expensive. But in general, just not something I'm personally all too interested in, and I'm sure most people, even those that are fans of Votann, aren't going to be too interested. This is, though, of all of them, the one that I may pick up, and it's kind of stupid. It's just because I don't own any of these models, and my Votann army does exist technically. So this might be a way of getting some of my preferred models from the Votann range into my army. We'll see, though. I'm leaning way towards more just using Necromunda models from Forge World, but we'll see. We'll find out. As for the Beast Snagger Stampede, which is, of course, the Orc Boys, It's the squig side of orcs, which in theory I should like, but the 40k squigs have never been something that I'm overly interested in. Beast Snagger is not really a faction that I use. I'm much more a fan of Flash Gates, personally. And in general, it's just not that interesting to me. It's cool, the models are neat. Some of the models in there are ones that I've personally thought about picking up before, so, it is good. It's just not for me. You have the Squigosaur, you have the Squigoff, you have the Stampeding Squig some things. I can't remember what they're called. But, yeah, just a lot of good ones as well as the regular Beast Snaggers, which, they're neat, they're cool. For me, it's not a great box, but that's for me. I'm sure there's plenty of people, especially Orc players, that haven't gone into the Beast Snagger side, that are going to be very, very interested in this box. But, yeah. As of the Acadian Defence Force, really cool that you actually get 2 tanks. That's something that is sorely missing from the Astra Militarum Start Collecting box, or, what do they even call them nowadays? But, the starter box. It's, something that is very important to a lot of people. There are a hell of a lot of standard units, of standard Acadian troops, and I don't know, for me that's kind of redundant in a way. Like, most people don't run that many grunts, but, if you're wanting to build something from scratch, this is a perfectly good starting point. It's just not going to be something I'm going to be even looking at. I'm not an Astra Militarum player as is, and this doesn't entice me in any sort of way. I'm going to be honest, hot take, I'm not a huge fan of the new Astra Militarum range. I don't know, there's something about the old sculpts that I just much prefer. It's the one faction that I think that about. And, all my Astra Militarum is old stuff, except I have, one monthly model of the new Cadian. But, besides the point, anyway, moving on. Space Marines Spearhead Force is if this was, a year ago, if this was last year's box, I would pick this up. Because it's Jetpack Boys, a Jetpack Captain, an ATV, and 3 of the bikes of the Outriders, and that is my jam. I love those. I just have too many of them. I don't have any of the Jump Pack Boys, well, the new ones, should I say? I have some old ones. But yeah, realistically, this is not that worth it to me, because I don't need an ATV anymore. I have 1, and that's all I ever need, and I already have, 9 Outriders, which is more than you can actually run in a game, which is funny, but I think so anyway. I'm pretty sure the max squad size... I don't know if... I may actually not... I may need more bikers. That's a worrying thought, but yeah, I have no need for this. This is great if you're trying to start a White Scars army, or potentially a Blood Angels army, I don't really know, but yeah, for me, it's kind of pointless. I have all the units that I'm not going to get separately, essentially, which is the ATV and the Outriders. I have those in mass. And as for the Jetpack Boys, I don't need them like this. It's really cool that I think you get 3 squads of them, plus the Captain, which is excellent. But I don't know, unless the discount is really good, if these are £80, I might, because that works out really, really good. But I'm doubting. I'm thinking more around 150. I don't think it actually says it in the article, but yeah, I'm not looking forward to the pricing on these. I think they're going to be a little bit expensive for what they are, but yeah. Space Marines, it's alright. It's good if you're starting fresh, essentially, but other than that, not really. The Onslaught Swarm, which is the Tyranids, honestly, I like this a lot. It has Hormagaunts by the mass, like 1 million Hormagaunts. It has Gene Stealers. It has the new big boy, which I can't remember, the Norn Emissary, is it? I think it's yeah, because it's the Norn Queen, so it's the Norn Emissary, and you also get the Winged Tyrant? Winged Hive Tyrant, which is an excellent model. And this would actually be interesting, because other than the Gene Stealers... Actually, no, they are the new Gene Stealers. I don't own any of these models. My Tyranid Force may expand this Christmas. But, yeah, the Onslaught Swarm looks great. Honestly, it's nothing too special. But as I said before with the Space Marine one, if this one is discounted well enough, this may be worth it. I don't know. It's hard to say without knowing the prices. But yeah, for that many Hormagaunts, which are my preferred Termagaunt, well, my preferred Gaunt variant, a box of Gene Stealers, which I can just take those and put them in my Gene Stealer cult, so I don't even need to put them in my Tyranids. And then 2 of the best looking character models, the Norn Emissary and the Hive Tyrant, the Winged Hive Tyrant. They're so good. So good. Obviously, the Hive Tyrant can also be built as the Swarm Lord, which is nice. I don't know. Just, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that box, and the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I kind of want it. I'll decide later. I'll decide when I see the prices. But finally, we have the excited. I am excited. The Exalted of the Red Angel, which is a bunch of berserkers, a bunch of what are they called now? What are they called now? I can't even see it in the thing. Exalted Outbound. That's it. The Exalted Outbound. Yeah, we've got a squad of 8 bound, a squad of berserkers, and then for no real reason, Angron. And a lot of people have been saying if this is like the same price as Angron or like close enough, this is just an instant buy for most Chaos players. Which I've got to say, I kind of agree. I'm not interested in World Eaters, but if this is about the same price as Angron, I might just get it. Like I might just start building World Eaters off this for no real reason. I already have 1,000 sons, I don't need this. But yeah, it's a good box. It has Angron, it has Berserkers, it has 8 bound. 8 bound I'm not a fan of personally, Exalted 8 bound, but they're fine. They're alright. The Berserkers are neat. I do like the Berserkers. And then just Angron. It's such a random character. I mean, obviously the Tyranid box also has like the Norn Emissary, which is like Primarch equivalent, but like, yeah, having Angron in a box like this, interesting. It does also mean it's not very buildable. Like at least with the Onslaught Swarm and what's the other one that has characters? Yeah, the Beastnagger Stampede. Those are characters that are massable. You can have multiple of them. I don't think you can run more than one Angron. So unless you could do some BS where you like bring him, I'm pretty sure he's an elite hero, whatever they call it. Like he's a character you can only have one of, so a bit of an interesting one, but I guess you're not exactly needing more Exalted 8 bound or more Berserkers because every other discount box that's ever been made for the World Eaters has contained one of those. But yeah, in general, some nice boxes, some mediocre boxes. I'm interested in seeing the prices. Depending on the prices, I might be picking up 1 or 2 of these. I'd say the Votan one looks interesting if it's a good price. I might get the Space Marine one if it's affordable. And the Tyranid one is probably a must-buy for me. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, this is like kind of perfect. But yeah, two or 3 maybe. I might just get one. I might just get Tyranids. Honestly, I might just get Tyranids. It's the one that I actually, I need to expand my Tyranid army a little bit. I have under 1,000 points because of the point nerfs. But yeah, I don't know. And the Gene Stealers for my Gene Stealer cult would be very, very nice. I do want more of those. I only have 1 squad right now. Anyway, enough rambling about that. Let's just move on to the next topic. And of course, that is the Battle Forces for Age of Sigmar. There's only 4 of these rather than the 6 for 40k. And I have not actually looked at these at all. I've looked at the 40k ones because they're the ones I care more about. But looking at it, we have the Primordial Star Host, which is the Seraphon. We have the Praetorian Spearhead, which is the Bone Reapers. Okay. The Warhorde of Eternus, which of all things is Slaves to Darkness, which looks pretty good. And then the Vengorian Court, which is are these the vampire ones? I don't actually know. What are these? It doesn't actually say. What? That's annoying. It is the vampires though, isn't it? The Soul Reaper Courts? No, that's not what they're called. I don't remember what they're called. It's Soul something Courts, right? The Bat people, the vampires. Anyway, right, let's just go through it. So, the Primordial Star Host, the Seraphon. This one's interesting. It has a lot of the new units that I actually quite like. Yeah, you get Skinks, you get the big boys, you get the Riders, you get the newer version of the Frog on a Throne. Just in general, these are some very good models. As someone that is interested in Seraphon but hasn't yet took the plunge, this might be tempting. Once again, based off pricing, I'm more waiting on pricing. For Age of Sigmar stuff, none of these are armies that I already have. Seraphon's the only one that I kind of want to build, but we'll see the pricing on this because I like all these models. The only one that I'm not a huge fan of is the Frog, the leader character. But yeah, this could be good. This could be good for me. I'm not really sure. The Praetorian Spearhead for the Osiarch Bone Reapers. These are some of the best models in terms of Age of Sigmar in general. Like the skeletons are an aesthetic that I really like. I just don't really care for them too much. The skeletons I like are actually in the vampire faction, which is kind of ironic. But yeah, the Praetorian Spearhead looks good. It has the big dinosaur mech skeleton thing, the horse riders, including the horse riding character, the big skeletons, the small skeletons. Just a nice selection if you're trying to get into Bone Reapers, but yeah, nothing really screams at me that I should get it. The Warhorde of Eternus, which of course Slaves to Darkness, is a pretty generic Chaos box at the end of the day. Like, it looks nice. I'm struggling to actually identify any of the characters specifically. You have Beastmen, by the looks of it. The generic Slaves to Darkness, like Knights. The Horse Rider main character. The Horse Rider normal characters. There's nothing too interesting here. It's Slaves to Darkness. It's not the most... It's the Black Legion equivalent of Age of Sigmar. It's alright. I don't hate it, but, it's Chaos. I don't really run Chaos. Generally, in Age of Sigmar, I'm a Destruction kind of player. I like my orcs at the end of the day. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Chaos, unfortunately, like, other than the Chaos that's shared with 40k, I don't really care too much for it. But, yeah, these are alright. These might make a good start to an army, potentially. I'm not really too sure what the meta is for Slaves to Darkness, but moving on, finally, we have the Vengorian Court for... It's gonna really bug me what these are called. It just says Vengorian Lords. It's annoying me that it doesn't actually tell me what they're actually from. I don't actually know what... You know what, I'm going to find this out. Give me a moment. I'm going to do this live. What are they part of? Like, what faction are they? It's going to really bug me if I don't find out. It's the Soulblight Gravelords. It's the Soulblight Gravelords. That makes so much more sense. Let me just fix my screen now. Okay, right. So it's the Soulblight Gravelords. That makes so much more sense now. And yeah, you get the Skeleton Warriors, which I think are the better Skeleton Warriors, personally. You get the Bat People, you get the Vampire Lord type character as the main character, you get the dogs, and you get the, honestly, what kind of just look like Khorne followers on horseback. I know they're not, but yeah, you get the red armoured guys on horses, and it's alright. I'd say that it has the best skeletons, in my opinion, but yeah, I'm not sold on any of these. The Seraphon one is nice, but it's because I like all those models, and it's not really one I'm wanting to get, but yeah, we'll see on pricing. This might be... The Seraphon box might be the fourth. If I get the other three from 40k, this might be the fourth one that I get, which isn't bad. Out of 10 boxes, I might, depending on pricing, get 4. I think that's pretty good. I think overall these are some good battle forces this year. They're just, for me, they're not that interesting, and it's unfortunate, but yeah, it is what it is. And on that note, I think we'll move on to the next topic. And that brings us to Heresy Thursday, which I'm just gonna get out of the way. It's Legions of Imperialis again. It's more tanks again. I literally do not care. It's just Land Raiders in tiny form, in epic scale, and I do not care. I honestly just do not care. And the fact is, like, in the article, it literally says that we're gonna have more Legions of Imperialis next week. If they release the game, if they just give us an announcement of the release date, that'll be more exciting to me than them keep showing us more things for it. I don't care anymore. I'm going to keep complaining. They look lovely. They look great. I just don't care. I've had enough. If they give us another Heresy Thursday where they don't at least tell us when Legions of Imperialis is coming out, I'm not gonna... I might just stop covering it at this point. I'm really tired of Legions of Imperialis, and the fact that so much of it is tanks. I know that's 30k in a nutshell, but like, it bugs me. It just bugs me. I've been waiting for Legions Imperialis since it got announced, because I've been looking forward to Epic Scale returning. I got really into it. I have a number of 30k units, like, built up, ready. They need paint. Most of them are primed, at the very least. But they need painting. But other than that, like, I have units set up. I'm almost ready to start playing Legions Imperialis, and it's just not coming out. It's stupid. It's really annoying to me, and I don't get why it is like this. I don't know why it's been delayed so much. Like, they could have at least, like, given us some sort of timeline, but no, they just cancelled it without saying anything and just didn't do anything. And they haven't said anything. They haven't spoken about it. For me, it's just annoying. The fact they keep revealing stuff, and I'm just like, I don't care. Just give me my tiny dreadnoughts and leave me alone. Like, I don't know. But yeah, they look cool. Land Raiders. The Land Raiders, the 30k Land Raiders, I don't know what to say about it. They're just tiny 30k Land Raiders. It annoys me in a lot of ways. But you know what? It is what it is. I say I don't care. I care a lot. That's the issue. I care a lot about Legions of Imperialis. I care a lot about Epic. You know, Epic Armageddon's just an excellent game. And I just want to be able to play it again. I have all my Legions of... not my Legions of Paris. I have all my Epic Apocalypse stuff. I just don't have the units. I don't have the models anymore. I don't want to have to buy second-hand stuff off eBay to be able to play it. I've already done that for my Tyranids. For my epic scale Tyranids, I've done that. So I don't want to do that again. I don't know. But yeah. Hopefully it comes out soon. Legion of Paris now has Land Raiders. Cool, great. I thought it did anyway. I've lost track of what they're missing at this point. But yeah. Let's just move on. And that leaves us with our final topic for the week, the Rumour Engine for the 24th of October, 2023. And it's a staff. I'm going to just throw it out there. I think this is Chaos. I don't know what specifically. I think it's probably more likely to be AoS than 40k, or 30k for that matter. But yeah, it's very Chaosy. It's got an eye at the top. It's very spiky, very horn. It's just a spiky staff thing. I think this is going to be Chaos. I can't say any more than that. It's kind of generic. It has the vague shape of like some sort of Chaos symbol, but I couldn't identify it if you asked me to. And yeah, so the eye at the top is very much... I know that's specifically a 40k, 30k Horus thing, but like it is a thing just in AoS as well. AoS has a lot of eye iconography. It's just ironic, I guess, or like coincidental that is also shared by the 40k factions. But yeah, it looks neat. I'm sure the model's going to look great. And yeah, that's really everything to go over. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like it, subscribe if you're new around here, and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Otherwise, comment below. What do you think of anything that we've covered? What do you think of the battle boxes? The battle that what are they called? Battle forces. What do you think of those boxes? I think they look pretty good generally. Just nothing that is screaming at me other than that Tyranid box, which I'm definitely getting out. The more I think about it, I'm like, I'm getting that box. But yeah, tell me what you think of Legion of Imperialis still not being out yet. And otherwise, that is really going to be it for this video. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!
Look at the screen, you'll be fine. Cultures of disease, but worlds divine. I just wanna take